Hello, good evening and welcome to an Eco Chat episode with a guest appearance. Hello to everybody who is joining me. I am just going to see if I can invite our guest on. Excuse me if I pull funny faces while I'm doing this. Hopefully that's done. Yeah, welcome. And as I mentioned last time in the Eco Chat, these are now every fortnight instead of every week. I'm always open to hearing your suggestions on topics and on different things that you would like me to discuss, things that you might like to know about a little bit more, whether that's a specific eco topic or a product that I sell. Please just give me a shout and I will do some research for you and add that into the schedule. For those who don't know me, my name is Jen. I am the owner and founder of Eco Living Ideas. My business and my mission is to make eco living as normal for everybody as possible. So I do that by creating a platform and a community and a website that has got everything in one place. So there are blog posts and there is price comparisons and useful information and all these things all together, so that you don't have to spend hours researching for yourself, which is what I did when I first started on my eco journey. I've just noticed I've got a really red nose. I have hay fever, so I've been blowing my nose all day, so I apologise for that in advance. So, Laura, are you here? I think Laura is coming on now. So tonight, as I mentioned before, we have a guest joining us. Laura from I'm not going to tell you too much about Laura because I want her to introduce herself. Here she is. Hello. I want Laura to be able to introduce herself and tell you about the business. So I'm not going to do too much of that just yet, but we will wait a couple more minutes, Laura, to see if anybody else joins us. So I will keep wittering on. I've spent a bit of time today actually focusing on my YouTube channel, which is terrible, but making it a little bit more streamlined. So if anybody is watching this and wants to go and see some previous episodes, you can either do that through the topics on the Eco Living community group, or you can head to my YouTube channel, just search for Eco Living Ideas, and all of the episodes are there, and this one will be uploaded to that as well. They're also as blog posts on my website, so you can find myself and Laura in lots of different places, and yeah, you obviously can share from there as well. So if there's a particular topic you come across that you think others may be interested in, you can share that to other people. Right, Laura, hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing?
You okay?
Yeah, really well, thank you. It's just been such a busy day. I think we all have busy days at the moment, don't we?
Yeah, it seems to go from one extreme to the other for sure. I'm just gonna see if I can turn you up a little bit. There we go. So, do you want to introduce yourself, tell us about your business, and we'll start from there?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everybody. My name's Laura Baker. I founded Draw the Line greetings cards back in October 2020, so still really fresh-faced business. And I started the business really, I think it was born out of frustration from not being able to find eco-friendly greetings cards very easily. I'm an artist and illustrator myself. I paint, I draw, and I had quite a few people saying to me, can you draw me this card? I need a card for this occasion.
That's how it starts.
So an accidental business venture, I think. So it kind of started from there really, and I drew one card and then I drew another, and then 2 became 10, and then 10 became hundreds, and the business basically prides itself on producing eco-friendly greetings cards, which I'll sort of dissect as we go on, but and we stock in shops and also online now. So yeah, it's been an adventure so far.
So what were sort of, prior to you starting the business, what were the issues when you couldn't find an eco-friendly card? What were you coming up against? I'm sure it's similar to most of us, but so just tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So I think by the time I realised that there was a bit of a niche in the market for an eco card, and what customers were looking for were specifically cards that were, you know, didn't have non-biodegradable glitter on, that were made of, they wanted a card made from sustainably sourced paper, whether that was recycled paper or from sustainably managed forests. And these, the people that are looking for these cards really know what they want in a card.
Yeah.
Myself, when I would go out and purchase a card for birthdays or anniversaries, there weren't many on offer that I could see were advertised as made in the UK or weren't laminated. And I kind of had a bit of that sort of planted the seed, really, I guess, for going forward, of there is a real market here for cards that not only look great and do the job of, bonding people through post, and sending lovely greetings, but also for it to be really sustainable and have a great impact on the environment.
Because I know there's been a very big push, hasn't there, in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, that about not having the plastic wrap on cards. And I, for one, point blank refuse to buy. I will rather send somebody a message and say, I've not sent you a card because I couldn't find one without plastic wrap. But I think that that is much more commonplace now than it ever was before. And people, supermarkets, card stores seem to recognize the fact that they're not selling the plastic wrapped ones. But I think a lot of people don't realize that actually the bling that ends up on these cards makes the actual card non-recyclable. So yes, you're cutting out that single-use plastic from the packaging, but if the card's not recyclable as well, then it kind of defeats the point a little bit.
It does.
And I think
it's a real shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
shame. It kind of, you go to all that effort to hunt down a card that fits with your mind, and if you're eco-conscious anyway, you're desperate to find something that fills that gap. And then you find, there's a sort of like a little plastic bicycle on it, or there's even the inks, even down to the inks, how they're produced and printed onto the card has an impact on how biodegradable it is, when the finished.
Tell us about sort of your process then, and who you use for printing and what you use that makes your cards eco-friendly.
Yeah, so I love my printing companies. They're based in the UK, and I know when we had talked previously about some of the challenges faced in starting the business, one of the challenges was actually finding a printing company that wasn't greenwashing and saying eco-friendly printing and putting all these ideas across to people that want to print greetings cards, that they were fantastic throughout. But through lots of hours of research, I have tracked down a printing company that really do what they say on the tin. So the printing company that I use, they really they go down to the very fine details. So starting at the top of actually printing the cards, the energy that they use is 100% renewable. They've even installed low energy lighting throughout the factory. They regularly train their employees on sustainability issues and environmental issues. They provide them with eco-friendly packs and encourage them to cycle to work. So it's right up from vegetable-based eco-friendly inks and renewable energy, sustainably sourced recycled paper, right down to education of employees of we're producing this product for companies such as myself and up to large scale companies, but ultimately it starts with the employee and how they live their life too. It all contributes. So
absolutely. I think it's so important, isn't it? Because it's all right, the owner of the company or manager or whatever having this vision, but if the people that are working for them don't understand why they're doing it, then it kind of defeats the point a little bit, because it's not passing that message on to them. So
I think it's just one of those things that once you're aware, like many products, not just greeting cards, but once you're aware of the impacts that you have on making that purchase, and when you can be informed of what else is available, it makes the alternative that's more eco-friendly a bit more attractive. But it's really finding the right way in doing it, and setting out and saying I want to do it right from the beginning. And that is challenging.
I can imagine. I mean, I know how much sort of research I do when I get a new product in, and that is just finding the sort of the company that makes them has done most of the work, and I'm just sort of background checking. But you had to start from scratch, so it's very impressive. And I think the thing I love about your designs as well is that actually they're so gorgeous. You could frame them and have a piece of artwork in your house as well. So I'm guessing a lot of people that receive your cards don't throw them away and recycle them, even though they are fully recyclable. And I would think that they're the ones that we always keep 2 or 3 from each birthday, and I reckon that they would be the ones that we kept for sure. So cool. Right. Do you have any interesting facts or figures about the greetings card industry and sort of the impact that that has on the environment?
Yeah, sure. So I have actually got them on the computer behind my phone, just in case there are some
I do that
facts.
too.
So I'm cheating. So look to the side, that's why. But there is, it's really interesting. So the first greeting card, when you look back in history of where it all began, really, the first greeting card was actually given in 1843, and that's ages ago. And so from there, it has now blossomed to a multi-million pound industry. I mean, the UK alone, I think it was 1.75 billion pounds worth spent on cards in 19 to 20, which I think equates to around 875 million cards sold.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and Exeter University did a study on the carbon footprint of each individual card, and it's supposed to be about 140 grams of CO2 equivalent. To put that into perspective, a flight from London to, I think it's Glasgow, is 500 kilograms. So when you compare that to 140 grams, it kind of, you think, well, what's the point of, you know, even looking for an eco?
But you times that by millions.
Yeah, so the impact is quite big, but surprisingly, the biggest portion of the carbon footprint of sending a greetings card is the postage itself. And then when you combine that with 33% of the paper in the UK is still not recycled, it goes straight to landfill. All these things.
Is that because of things on it that make it non-recyclable, or because people don't recycle it?
I think it's a mixture. I don't know for certain. I couldn't say yes or no to anything in particular, but I think potentially there is obviously adornments and glitter and things that make them non-recyclable and would degrade, you know, the recycled product. But there's also the I wouldn't say the lack of knowledge, but the awareness of when you finish with a greetings card, what you do with it.
Yeah.
And when said earlier about, you know, there's always the odd card that you keep or frame, and that's what I'm really trying to encourage with all of our customers, is that, you know, if you really don't want to cut it up and use it as a gift tag, or you don't want to frame it, then by all means, you know, recycle it. But yes, there's a huge amount of work to be done, and I think my aim is not change the world, but to just change our shopping habits of greetings cards, shift the focus away from.
Absolutely, I think that's it, isn't it? It's about I think most eco switches are just a case of buying a different product. You're not changing a habit. Like, it's not like you have to buy something different to be more eco-friendly. You just shop somewhere different. So you're still buying a greetings card that has an envelope and a lovely design on it, and you write in it. That is all exactly the same, but it's the actual product that you're buying that can have that impact. Going back to the cutting up the tags, my sister this Christmas gathered Christmas cards from I don't even know how many people, and they have one of the gift tag cutting machine things, and she's cut like 1,000 gift tags. So and given them all to me, so all my customers at Christmas are going to get gift tags in with their orders for them to use. So yeah, it is. It's one of those. Like, it didn't actually take her that long, you know, and it just meant that all those greetings cards will be reused again, and then people might keep them for the kids to do Christmas collages. You just don't know, do you? So hopefully they'll live a little bit longer. But yeah, it's quite funny. She rocked up with a shoebox full of gift tags. Cool, sorry, got distracted. So tell us a little bit about sort of your personal eco journey, where so my sister says it was from their street community. Thank you, Katie. Tell us about your personal eco journey, sort of where you are in that and what your favorite switches are.
Sure. So I think it would be fair to say I'm kind of maybe a couple of years into that into the eco sort of switching trend, and I think really it started following the birth of my second child, really, and someone introduced me to reusable nappies,
Yep.
and oh no, you know, why would I want to spend my time washing? And actually that again planted another little seed of what else is there available, you know, even things from reusable sanitary items, you know, sort of eco makeup and things specifically for women, feminine products or anything like that, you know, all the way to sort of considering an electric car. There are so many swaps to be made.
Yeah.
And you know that you put a post on about feeling overwhelmed, you know, having this
Yeah.
eco anxiety of feeling there is so much and where do I begin? But I think for me, the best thing that I've done is actually just reduce the amount of stuff that I use and buy. You know, there are products that I have switched to of greener cleaning products around the home, recycled papers when, you know, doing business admin and things like that, all the just general everyday stuff. But I think organic clothing and secondhand clothing is a big issue. That is really changing. It's beginning to see a real rise in popularity. So I think that for me is what I've switched to recently, which I'm really proud of.
How are you finding that sort of shopping for clothes secondhand?
I think during restrictions and lockdown, it was actually quite, you know, it was tough because charity shops are closed, and a lot of it was done online. And, you know, sort of, I think for me, I was a bit hesitant to really branch out and go for something secondhand that I'd never seen. And I was relying on, you know, the seller to be really upfront about, you know, how it was wearing. But yeah, I think, do you know what, you have to put yourself out there, and it does take time to look for the little swaps and the switches to more eco-friendly ways of doing things. But I think once you've made it, once you've I don't know, you say you take a product that you normally use and you swap it out for something a bit more eco-friendly, like paper cotton buds or something.
Yeah.
Once you've done it and you know where to get it, the hard work is done. It's just
absolutely, you know,
yeah. But it's having that guidance, I think, and education sometimes on some of the products that we're buying. Help us not feel so overwhelmed. But
absolutely.
yeah, so there's a long way to go, but I'm
getting
there.
I think it's I mean, that was one of the reasons that I initially set up the business and then launched the home detox clinic, was because that is like I mean, I spent hours and months researching different products and trying different shampoo bars and different this and different that, and it was like people then started coming to me and asking me for this advice, and I thought, oh, let's just get it all in one place. So the home detox clinic is absolutely there to reduce that overwhelm, and kind of I've all the research and all the links are in one place, so you can literally just go, and you still have to do the reading, like it's not, I can't like put it all into your brain, but it's in one place, so you don't have to spend ages trying to find different little bits. But yeah, that eco anxiety poll that I did it in a few groups, and the response was just mind-blowing. Yeah, it really surprised me. So yeah, right, cool. So please, can you tell us all where we can find you? I have tagged your Facebook page, but give us a bit more information, and I'm going to see if there's any questions while you do so.
Yeah, no problem. So as we're so new, we are just building up our online exposure, really. So we are on Instagram and Facebook, Draw the Line Cards. We have a website, it's launching, so people can look there too. So that will be drawthelinecards.com. We're on Etsy too. So there are a few platforms to buy from, but mainly we sort of post and share stories on Facebook and Instagram, because people tend to sort of like the stories and see what goes on behind the lines. So yeah, it's mainly online at the moment, but people local to where I am can find me based in local shops too.
Fantastic. Cool. So there's no questions at the moment, but Laura and I will keep an eye on that. So if anybody does have a question on catch up when you're watching this video, please feel free to ask it. And Laura, if you will post your links to your Instagram and your Etsy in the comments as well, and people can come and buy from you and see your gorgeous artwork as well. But I think that is everything.
Thank you for
That's
having
all.
me.
That's all right. Thank you for joining me. Cool. Right, we will say good evening. I hope everyone has a great evening, and I will see you in a fortnight for another guest episode Eco Chat. So good evening, everybody. Bye bye.